Hi, I'm Matt Golofchinsky, the technical writer for What Digital Camera magazine, and we've been waiting 3 years for it, but it's finally here. The camera we're looking at today is the Canon EOS 5D Mark II. 5D Mark II is a full-frame DSLR with a 21.1 megapixel effective resolution. That's the same as in the Canon 1DS Mark III, and although the sensors are similar, they are slightly different as well. So much so that Canon actually claims the 5D Mark II has the best image quality from any EOS DSLR released to date. So why is Canon so optimistic? Well, there's a brand new processor, the Digic 4, which we first saw in the EOS 50D. What this allows the camera to do is to have a 3.9 frames per second burst rate for up to 78 JPEGs or 310 if you're using UDMA cards, and it also supports the camera's live view function, which now has face detection. The final feature we see is the peripheral illumination feature, and what that does is correct vignetting when you're using a select number of Canon EF lenses. Something else that's changed is the EOS integrated cleaning system. Now, it still uses the sensor-based vibrations, which shakes the sensor to dislodge any dust, but it's now also got fluorine coating, like you've seen in Canon's lenses, which is said to repel dust better as well. Something else that's new is the camera's 3-inch LCD screen. Now, it's not only a lot bigger than the previous 5D's LCD, but it's also got a resolution of 920,000 dots, VGA resolution, which makes it equal to the likes of the Sony A900, Nikon D700 and many other models. Perhaps the camera's main headline feature is its video mode. Now, it's full HD video, which means it shoots in 1920 by 1080p resolution and allows you to record video files for up to 24.5 minutes. Now, it still has got its limitations. It's only the second video mode after the Nikon D90 that we've seen on a DSLR, but it is usable, and it does also have autofocusing while recording. Okay, so clearly it won't replace your video camera, but it has got its uses. Bearing in mind, Canon has designed this with professionals in mind, so wedding photographers who want to capture the bride walking down the aisle, or press photographers, maybe in war-torn countries or wherever they will really benefit from the functionality that having video on a camera would offer them. The video mode has got its limitations, but it's also got a couple of pluses. One of the main ones probably is the fact that the sensor is obviously a lot larger than that found in a standard video camera, which means you can really get creative with the shallower depth of field that you get. Okay, if we have a look at the top of the camera, we've got the mode dial, which has got all the standard exposure modes, as well as 3 custom settings and a bulb mode as well, next to which is the hot shoe, which you can obviously use external flash units inside. On the other side, we've got the LCD screen, which features all your key exposure information, and above that you've got the buttons for changing your metering, your white balance, your drive settings, that kind of thing. These have actually changed slightly from the 5D, which means that if you're upgrading, or even from a 40D, you might find this a bit of an inconvenience. Also, the lamp option, which activates the lamp for the LCD, has moved over to the other side, which again will be a bit of an inconvenience for upgrading users. So if we have a look at the back now, you can see we've got the menu button, underneath which it's the picture style button for activating all the different picture styles, as well as info, play and delete buttons. Above here you've got the direct print button that Canon has long had on its cameras, but it now also activates the camera's live view and video mode functions. On the other side we've got the familiar scroll wheel, which allows you to scroll through images and menu options, and above that you've got a joystick which allows you to zoom around images to check focus and detail. The LCD screen is obviously a big improvement on the original 5D, and also it has 6 separate coatings which combat not just reflections but also dirt and smudges. If we have a look at the menu system, we can see that it also looks quite different too. In comparison with the 5D, it's got the tabulated structure that a lot of recent EOS models have adopted, and all the information is split up logically. So you've got your shooting image parameters there, such as white balance, colour space, then you've got your playback options, then you've got the maintenance section, which allows you to format your card and set your various settings for live view and sensor cleaning, and finally you've got the custom functions menu, which allows you to personalise the camera to your own needs. You've also got the My Menu settings, which allows you to assign a number of settings for quick access. As we'd expect from a Pro model, the Canon 5D Mark II is built really well as well. It's got a magnesium alloy shell, and a lot of the back and the grip and also the side round here has been rubberised for comfort and security. Also, it's been guarded against moisture and dust, so if you are using the camera in any adverse conditions, you'd be sure that all the insides are kept safe. As you can see, the grip has also been contoured so that it grips really well. If you've got large hands, for instance, you shouldn't feel like you haven't got enough room to give it a good, secure hold. So in terms of image quality, the 35-zone metering system rarely underexposes. It's only really if you're shooting in harsher conditions that you might need to do a bit of post-processing afterwards. Noise control is probably something that a lot of people are going to be interested in, how it compares with Nikon's D700 and D3, for instance. The camera has got a span of up to 25-600 like the Nikon D3. But it can't quite match it at the highest settings. It does come close, but there's a little bit more chroma noise and images aren't quite as detailed. Nevertheless, even up to about 6400, there's little noise and it's got a really nice kind of film-like texture to it that isn't really destructive. In terms of white balance, we've got Canon's characteristic warmth in images, so if you're shooting outdoors you get a slight magenta-ness, sometimes on lighter tones. Indoors as well, shooting under tungsten or fluorescent light, you also get a slight warmth which can make skin tones look a little bit too pink. But apart from that, images are very nicely detailed, the raw files contain a lot of headroom for processing and it puts in a fantastic performance. One of the major benefits of Canon's system is that you've got over 20 years worth of lenses to use without any loss of functionality. You can't unfortunately use any of the EFS optics that Canon have designed for the APS-C models, but you've got a lot of EF lenses, including this one, the 24-105 f4, which ships as a kit option with the camera. The lens itself is very good and it proved itself quite a capable partner to the 5D Mark II during the test. It's nice and sharp, it's got image stabilisation as well, and it's got a really nice focal length. Also the defocusing characteristics are very nice as well, such as the bokeh. Unfortunately, it doesn't control chromatic aberrations fantastically, and we did notice, particularly at the edges, a lot of green and purple lines at the edges of detail. But apart from that, it's a very good performer. So what do we make of the 5D Mark II? Well, it's a solidly built camera, it produces great images and it's really got all the features you need. It's not quite as responsive or good at controlling high sensitivities as the Nikon D700, and it's not surprised that a lot of professionals have defected that way, but it's still a fantastic camera and we give it 92% and a gold award.